Welcome back to my channel, and as the title suggests, today we are going to talk about the biggest thief of joy. It is likely that you are experiencing this, especially in your 30s. And if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Heather. Here we talk about all things rewriting your own script and navigating your 30s. So if that sounds like something that you could benefit from, consider subscribing and being one of the lucky early ones to join the community. So let's dive right in. There is like a 99.9% chance that you have experienced this. And if you have, it is very likely that you have been feeling anxious, depressed, and just suffering from feeling overall down about life. So what is that thing? Now, as someone who has suffered from this myself, but also come out on the other side, I want to not only just talk about what it is, I want to tell you that you are absolutely not alone on this, but I also want to offer you some steps on how to get out on the other end. So what is this thief of joy? What is it that everyone is experiencing that is making everyone feel so freaking depressed? The inspiration from this video came from, I was scrolling through comments under another video talking about how they feel lost in their 30s and they don't know what they're doing. I noticed one of the common things that people were saying is that when they feel down on life, or they feel they've had a bad day, or they're just feeling overall depressed, they find that they just spend a lot of their time scrolling on social media. Because the truth is, and I think we all know this by now, is social media is not real. Social media is not real. With the amount of AI that we know is out there, with the amount of editing, even just the other day, I watched a couple walk down on the beach, and she was actually wearing such a cute outfit. And I remember she walked out of her hotel and I was like, that is so cute. They must be going on a nice date. I wonder where they're going. I was admiring how good she looked. And they walked down on the beach and she got all of her photos, and zero hate to this by any means. Zero hate. I'm not hating on what she does, like doing content creation and everything. That's literally what I do. So I'm not hating on what she does. But they walked down to the beach. It was sunset too, by the way. Walked down to the beach, got all of her photos, got this like specific video style that she wanted to get. She was very specific with how he filmed the video, and got the video, filmed it. And then when she got her photos, she looked over them, and then they walked back to the hotel. And the irony of it was, when they were walking back, the sun went down and it was sunset. And I was like, y'all just missed the best part. So what I'm saying is, all of that to get the photos, to get the videos of like, look how beautiful this is. I'm in Costa Rica. Everything looks amazing. And the truth is, what you see, the visuals, is clearly not what was happening in real life. So that is just one example of millions of how social media does not portray reality. And the unfortunate part about that is how many people go on social media and scroll and look at it and think that is what someone's life looks like. You compare yourself to it. You get stuck in this never-ending loop of comparison. And before you know it, you've been scrolling for like 3 hours. You hate your life. You feel miserable. You feel like a failure. So it makes perfect sense why all these people who are just spending so much time scrolling on social media are also going and commenting under videos of saying that they feel like a failure in their 30s. So how do we turn it around? First, I want to say that I have been binging. Her name is Dr. Mindy Pelz. And one of the things that she talks about is dopamine. And when you get that dopamine hit, obviously she was talking about it in the sense of food. But the thing with dopamine is, when you get a dopamine hit, there is no end to dopamine, meaning you will never feel satisfied. And she was explaining it in a sense of like how you get a dopamine hit when you're eating junk food and chips and all that. And there's a reason you never feel satisfied, is because there is no end to the dopamine. So same goes for social media. When you are scrolling on social media, it is releasing a small dopamine hit. So that's why we need those quick videos, those quick, get the hook in 2 to 3 seconds, because you need that quick dopamine hit. So I'm saying this to tell you that your addiction to scrolling on social media is not your fault. It is literally a chemical reaction going on in your body. Now, I didn't realize this when I had my insane scrolling, doom scrolling addiction. It was so bad. I would stay up anywhere till 3 or 4 a.m. scrolling on social media. And the crazy thing was, I didn't realize that I had like some sort of addiction to it. I just thought like, oh, I can't sleep, so I'm just going to scroll. I still can't sleep, so I'm just going to scroll longer. And it just turns into this like absolute doom scroll loop, right? And the craziest thing about that is the depression that I fell into. This was like right before I had my awakening, got into my 30s, switched, changed everything around. This was when everything felt like it was really just crashing in my life. But the reason that I just had like such depression and such anxiety where I was in my life at the time was because I was seeing all these people just live out their best lives and living out the exact life that I wanted to be living. And I was just comparing myself to them. So rather than getting off of social media and putting a plan together on how can I make that happen for myself, or what is my own dreams, what are my own goals that I want to work towards, instead I was just laying in bed absolutely stuck to the screen and just continuing to scroll and compare and scroll and compare. And I just remember like the migraine that I would give myself from scrolling. Like now that I think about it, because that was like so long ago, it's like crazy to think that I would get myself into that state. Okay, so enough about that, but I just want you to know that I can completely relate if you are in the same boat. So how do we get out of it? The first thing is to actually recognize what is going on. That's why I wanted to tell you about the dopamine and the fact that your scrolling addiction has to do with a chemical reaction in your brain. That's why I want to tell you that, bring your awareness to what is going on. You have to actually be willing to take control of the situation and recognize that you are strategically being pulled into scrolling on those apps. So it really does have to come down to having the self-control to know when to put your phone away. And I recognized that the social media scrolling was exactly what was contributing to me being in such a dark hole of anxiety and depression. I started setting timers on my phone for myself, for me to be aware of how much time I was scrolling. And I would also set timers for me to get off of social media, especially if I was just doom scrolling. I also made a video on another TikTok account about 10 things that you can do instead of doom scrolling. And that video was so popular, and it just tells me how many people are feeling the same way, that they need to replace their social media scrolling time with literally anything else. So ask yourself, what is something that you are passionate about that you could replace with social media? So for me, starting a business was super important. That was my top priority. So anytime that I found myself scrolling, I would put my phone down and work on my business, because every single minute that I spent scrolling on social media, I was taking away from building something of my own. So what is something that you've been putting off for so long that you tell yourself you have no time to do? Take mental note of that. And every time you notice yourself stuck in that scroll, put your phone down and commit to spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes on that thing. Because the cool thing is, once you get caught up in doing something you're passionate about, you can get yourself into this flow state and you'll just keep rolling and rolling and rolling with it. Before you know it, hours have gone by and you've actually worked on something that you're either passionate about or something that's actually productive. And honestly, that's really all it takes. It really just takes having the acknowledgement and the recognition and the awareness that the reason you feel so robbed of happiness, of fulfillment, of time in your day is likely because of your scrolling schedule. So go back on your phone and see how much time you're spending scrolling on social media. It is absolutely humbling. And one last thing to remember is that 99% of times, the version of someone that you feel envy for or you feel jealous of, that is not the true depiction of their life. So you are literally jealous of a non-existent version of someone. So just remember that. The other thing to remember is that when you feel jealousy or envy for someone, that is a direct indicator of what it is that you're missing in your life. Rather than allowing this jealousy or this envy to control you, instead, use that as an opportunity to direct you and to guide you. That was another moment of realization that I had. Every time that I would scroll and I would feel envy or jealousy of someone, I would ask myself, what is it about this video that is setting me off or making me feel jealous? Right. It's that they're traveling. Whatever it was, I would mark that down and I would say, okay, clearly that is an indicator of something that I want in my life that I feel that I am lacking from my current 3D, and I want to work towards that. So that is also a way to eliminate envy and jealousy and instead use it as a propeller to get you closer to your own dreams and goals. So I hope you guys found this video useful today, and I can't tell you enough how much stopping the doom scroll truly changed my life. It is like you will become a whole other person. So try it out. Give it a try for 1 week. Report back and let me know if it helped at all. And as always, just remember, we are worthy, we are love, and we are light. I will see you in the next video.